So I think I just did the best trade of my life. From entry to exit, 1,636%, or from $300 invested, 3.57k taken out, 16x. On top of this, we have our market that is mooning. Look at this 15-minute chart on Ethereum, taking every single altcoin with it amidst a US government shutdown, which has just happened, confirmed 100%. The government is shut down, yet the market is bullish. Super bullish, in fact. So we're gonna go over some of the tactics, some of the strategies that I use in order to trade, in order to get these gains. First thing I want to say, this is BTCC that I'm doing leverage on, and they allow me to go up to 500x in leverage. On top of this, it's a non-KYC exchange, so you don't even need to confirm your identity, which is always a big plus for a lot of people. But if I wanted to make a position here, how do I know when to enter? Obviously, the pump is done, and when I entered crypto, to give you a bit of an anecdote, I would chase pumps like this. I would see a big pump like this on Ethereum, and I'd be like, now is the perfect time to enter. Not necessarily, because let's say we entered not even at the peak top. We entered here, we would still be down 0.6%. And if we used 500x leverage on that, yeah, that's a liquidation event. And no matter what you do in leverage trading, you don't want to be liquidated. You want to lose as little as possible while making as much as possible. So minimize the risk and maximize the upside potential. That's what we're going for. So I am working on another video where I'm going deep into trading indicators, but for example, here on BTCC, if we go to the technical indicators, first let's add volume, because without the volume, it's very difficult to trade. Second thing is we're going to add the relative strength index, or the RSI. Very, very important indicator. So these two, super important. Volume, RSI. On top of this, what I like to use as well is the EMA, or the exponential moving average. Now, there's two exponential moving averages you can use. Specifically here, we're going to go to settings. Here's some pro tips, man. I just got straight into this video. We're going to give some pro tips right here. We need this to be a 20 EMA, and then we're going to add another EMA, but this one we're going to put at 200. Now, to make them a little bit different, I do need this one to be a different color, so let's pick yellow. Yellow's a good color. So yellow's the 200, blue is the 20, and now we have a better look as to what's going on the charts. Let's break it all down and let's see how we're going to be able to find a trade. The yellow 200 moving average is going to be way more important on the upper time frames, whereas the blue moving average is going to be way more important on the smaller time frames. Both are important, and once they converge like this, look at how they converged here, and the blue one broke above the yellow one right here. This is where the chart exploded. So that's what we're looking for, the convergences between the two moving averages. Once that lines up with the RSI and the volume, that will be your perfect entry. On top of this, you can look at patterns. We're going to go over all of it. Welcome back to the Mind Blow Show. I'm your host, The Inspector. Don't forget to drop a like if you do happen to enjoy this video. And as I said, we're trading right here on BTCC. If you just made an account right here on my landing page, you get a 10% bonus on your first time deposit. The bonuses can go up to $10,055 per user, depending on how big your deposit is. Of course, no VPN, no KYC, none of that is required. And on top of everything else, they also have tokenized stocks and Forex, if that's something that interests you. So it's going to be the first link in the description down below. Now, from the beginning of the video, the chart I showed you here, this is a sort of like a Ponzi game, a new Ponzi game on Solana. Instead of getting fully into the game, I got a little bit in the token, not a lot. As you saw, I invested $300. I didn't want to invest more. Catching things like this, very difficult from a technical standpoint. Things like this you can catch from a fundamental standpoint, but specifically for leverage, none of that matters. For leverage, the only thing that's important is the technical analysis. And the technical analysis is all about patterns, all about indicators, and all about price action. So if we analyze the chart here a little bit, let's see what we notice. First of all, looking at the RSI, hit the bottom of the RSI 3 times, not necessarily in the oversold territory quite yet. That will be under this line here. So we're not there yet. There could be room for a little bit more downside. First, we can go to the full screen right here, which is going to make it significantly easier. And I do prefer my volume to be a little bit smaller because we don't need volume to be that big. Volume is important for something else, right? If we go to the one-day chart, of course, on Ethereum is going to be less noticeable, but look at how the volume dropped after July, and it's slowly creeping its way up, but definitely the volume is a lot smaller than it was before. But if we look at the RSI right here, look, it just touched the bottom. So this is the one-day chart, right? Every single candle equals to 1 day of real life time, and we see it touch the bottom right here, and that was the bottom of the chart just when it touched the bottom of the RSI. We had a similar bottom here. It didn't quite touch the bottom of the RSI right here, but almost entered oversold territory. Of course, here it did enter oversold territory, and that was the peak bottom of Ethereum in this bull cycle. If we go to the 1 minute chart, of course, it matters a lot less. The indicators are less precise because the time frame is so different. The 1 minute chart, meaning that every single candle here is only 1 minute, only 60 seconds, but still it can predict small price movements. So for example, we had a bottom touch right here, and we did have a very small teeny tiny pump. Now that's not what we're looking for. What we are looking for is, well, not even this. This is very hard to catch. These big pumps, very hard to catch. What we can catch is moves like this, like from here to here. This sort of move, 0.78% on 10x leverage would be 7.8% of gains. On 100 leverage, 78%. On 500 leverage, 5 times more. I'm good at reading charts. I'm good at fundamentals, but at math, not so good. I need a calculator. We call it math with the inspector. So 390% on 500 leverage, that's absolutely ridiculous. But of course, it's not just about longing. You can also short. So you can make money up. You can also make money down. If we go back to look at the RSI right here, we see how overbought it was right here in this entire territory. In this entire move up, it was overbought. But then it didn't necessarily dump because this is the lower time frame. So even from here to where it is now, it's not even a 1% move. So while it is accurate to measure with the RSI and to find your perfect entry, it's not always going to be the biggest move. So just be prepared to get out, to take profits. That's where we're going to go on the 15-minute chart to kind of look for a position. Do we short from here or do we long from here? So what I'm doing now is looking back at the history of Ethereum. This is another way of doing it. We have an explosive bump, right? Now it's kind of solidifying, consolidating here, while the RSI is in the overbought territory. Let's see when that happened in the past as well. We have this move right here. There we go. Very similar move. Explosive upside, solidifying or consolidating on the downside. RSI, overbought territory. From there, Ethereum just kept going sideways until eventually it went up again. So making a long here, not ideal. If we look just purely at the historical values, which obviously we're not doing, but we are taking it into account. Everything is being taken into account, and everything is important to make the whole picture of where the market may or may not go in the future.
So this is basically the pivoting point, and one of the reasons why a lot of new traders find success, because they're not overthinking. I'm using so many indicators, and I always have, so I know how to just take little bits of data into account, whereas the main and most important thing will always be just using very simple trend lines, very simple support and resistance. Usually those are the best trades, and this is the whole point of the video.
One more thing you can do, even though we're on the small time frame right now in the 1 minute chart, we can try it with a bit of trend lines, and here is a good trend line right here. Now Ethereum is right now at this moment trying to break above this trend line. Trend is your friend. The trend lines are so important. Look at this, how it is following the trend line so precisely. Very interesting. So it got rejected, but will it get rejected? We need to wait for the 1 minute time frame for this candle right here to close. If it closes above, I'm gonna place in a long, and we're gonna put my theory to the test. If it closes below, I will put in a short, and then we will take profits in this area right here. So let's see where it closes, and let's place our bets. And it closed above. Here we go. Of course, we can go back to the basic chart right now just to follow the price action. Kept bumping, so we could have already taken profits, but this is nothing. It's just $5. So I entered with $200 on 50x leverage, so pretty high leverage right here. But what we're looking at right now is just this very simple trend line, and then on top of this, we have a horizontal support trend line right here, so it just got supported off of that. We're still in this long. This is going to be a very short scalp. Just wanted to prove my point of how I find these trades. So everything is important. Every single indicator is very important. As I said, I'm working on another video where I'll be going over how exactly I'm using all the indicators, but just remember, the trend is your friend. So we're not gonna long this to a new all-time high or anything like that. This is going to be a short scalp. If we look at strictly the RSI right here, it's almost at the overbought territory. So as soon as it touches this on the 1 minute chart, I'm going to exit this trade. So you know how many times we played the crypto games and we were like, how do you make $10 per day? We need a game that can make $10 per day. Well, here we go. Ethereum, $10 per day as soon as I exit this trade. But yeah, so far we're looking good. We're looking very, very good. That was a bit of a technical video. If you do appreciate videos like this and want to see more of how I'm trading, why I'm trading, let me know, and I will be sure to make more videos like this. Also, yeah, I'm not home right now. I'm on a short little vacation spot. Let me show you the view outside. It's actually a very nice view. I didn't really mention how important it is to use stop loss and take profit areas. It's very important. But this is my setup. It's a bit messy, I know, but you know, if it works, right? So yeah, we're still in the trade, no stop loss, no take profit, nothing like that. About 15 bucks in profits at the moment. If we go over, this is the living room and a very, very nice view of the river from here. Absolutely beautiful. That's it, everybody. Thank you for watching. Check you all next time. Peace.